In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the passenger side outer tie rod on this Ford Excursion. You do need an alignment after this job is done, so let's get started. Use a 21mm socket, remove all 8 lug nuts, and then pull the wheel off. Let's loosen up this sleeve that holds the 2 outer tie rods together and locks them in. I'm using a 15mm socket, but this is not the factory hardware, so for you, use whatever fits your hardware. You don't have to remove these all the way, you just need to loosen them up. Right about there is good. We also have to loosen this clamp up. There's a 13mm headed nut on the other side of this bolt. Loosen this up as well. This is so that we can spin this tie rod. Just like the other clamps, you don't have to remove it. You just have to give it enough slack so we can pull this bracket out of the way. That should be plenty right there. Use a hammer and tap it backwards. Once this tab is out of this sleeve, you're good to go. Let's separate these 2 tie rods. There is a 27mm mounting nut here that is supposed to have a cotter pin through it. Mine does not. If yours does, remove it and then break it free. Once you have it off most of the way, we're actually going to leave it on a few threads. That way when we separate these and push the stud out, it's not going to pop out completely. You have a couple options here. One is to hammer right on this tie rod. Hopefully that's going to separate it. I will try that first. If not, I'll have to use an air chisel on the back of it to push the stud through. There we go. Remove the mounting nut the rest of the way. And pull this out. I'm going to support this tie rod up here so we can replace the other one without this one being in our way. Just use a bungee cord and strap it to the leaf spring. Now let's remove this cotter pin so we can take out the tie rod from the knuckle. Try your best to get this undone. Sometimes these cotter pins, they like to seize in the knuckle. So I'm going to try to pull it out. Looks like mine came out. If yours does not, just cut it flush with the nut and then hammer a socket right over. Use a 21mm, take this mounting nut off. Hammer the knuckle right here to separate the tie rod from the knuckle. There we go. Lift it right up and out. If your tie rod is stuck inside of this sleeve, find the opening. It's going to be anywhere around this sleeve, however it was last adjusted. Use a pry bar, tap it in here, and that's actually going to spread the sleeve apart, making it easier for you to take this out. Just like that. At this point, I'm going to hold on to this pry bar, and in my case, I have to use a pipe wrench. You could use some large pliers, or hopefully you don't have to use anything. Unthread this from the sleeve. Keep in mind this is reverse threaded, so you're going to have to turn clockwise to loosen this up. Count the amount of turns it takes so that when we put it back, we can bring it close to a decent alignment. There it is. Apply some anti-seize inside the sleeve where the threads are, that way it doesn't corrode in the future. Do the same thing on the threads of the tie rod. Before we thread this on, we have to loosen this mounting nut up 13 millimeter, just so we can pull the sleeve down a little and have it not be in our way. For this one, we actually have to remove the bolt because the tie rod is notched where the bolt goes through. We have to pull that out in order to move the sleeve further down. So take this mounting nut completely off, push the bolt, take it out the other side, and now we can pull this down. Don't take it off because you won't be able to put it back on. Now thread this on. Keep in mind, once again, this is reverse thread, so go to the left to tighten it and put it back the same amount of turns it took to remove it. Right about there. Attach this tie rod. Put the tie rod back through the knuckle, press it down, put on the mounting nut. Once that's bottomed out, torque it to 66 foot-pounds. This being a castle nut, if your slot does not line up, continue tightening and never loosen to get this to line up. Once it does, put the cotter pin through and let's bend it over to lock it in. If you still had a pry bar in here, remove it. Position this sleeve where you think it's necessary for it to be, and let's tighten up these two clamps so we can lock it in. 15 millimeter socket. Torque these to 41 foot-pounds. Now position this clamp so that this tab lines up with this clamp, goes right through that slot with that bolt installed and the mounting nut on. Let's snug it up. This is bottomed out. For this one, you really don't have to tighten it a whole lot. You just have to squish this clamp a little bit so that it locks on, and that's it. Now let's put this tie rod back into this one. Slide it through all the way. Have the mounting nut ready and start it on the back side. Snug this up. All right, let's torque it to 66 foot-pounds. That's it right there. This being a castle nut, you want to make sure the slot lines up. So if it doesn't, continue tightening, and you never want to loosen to get these to line up. Slide your cotter pin through. And once it pokes through the other side, you want to bend it over to lock it in. Let's get the wheel back on. Put on all 8 lug nuts. We'll bottom them out in a cross pattern. And then also in a cross pattern, we're going to torque them to 148 foot-pounds. $148 foot-pounds in a cross pattern. Here we go. After finishing this repair, it's important to have an alignment done on your vehicle. Double check them if you'd like, and take it for a road test.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.